Everyone, the cabinet was unveiled yesterday, and no surprises, really. A lot of the same. That's what Canada voted for, right? A lot of the same. So here's CBC, and they say who's who in Justin Trudeau's 2019 cabinet. And let's start at the top. The Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs. Interesting, right? Liberal MP Chrystia Freeland served as the Minister of International Trade and Foreign Affairs before being promoted to the second highest post in government. And let's just take a walk through Chrystia Freeland memory lane. Here is going back to September 2018. That's just a year ago. A year and a bit, 14 months. And it says, our camera was there when Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland arrived in Washington tonight wearing the following message. Mama is not equal to chopped liver, plus keep calm and negotiate NAFTA. She said the shirt was a gift from her children. And okay, I mean, what a strange thing to wear to signal something when negotiating with our longest standing trade partner, the United States. Weird, right? Here's the CTV News report, because this isn't something that you do. It would be very strange to arrive at a trade negotiation with messaging on your shirt. And it's newsworthy. So this is 2018. September 18th, 2018. And it says, Freeland wears keep calm and negotiate NAFTA t-shirt on eve of talks. And these were difficult talks. These had an impact Canada-wide. They missed the aluminum and steel by a lot. Like they didn't have any, the USMCA didn't address the steel and aluminum tariffs at all. And I mean, like, I know people who work in the industry and they were very upset about this, but fundamentally, you can't pass off Chinese steel as Canadian steel. Like, you're not allowed to do that. And that's what was happening. People were brokering Chinese steel through Canada and selling to the United States as Canadian steel, but it wasn't Canadian steel. So that's a problem. And that's why the tariffs were around, and that's why nothing changed. But still, like, it wasn't a great negotiation. So doing this is weird. So here's the news article. Freeland was spotted leaving the U.S. airport wearing a white t-shirt with two messages written in bold black text. And I've already gone through the messages. Asked if the t-shirt might be good luck for the Wednesday negotiations, Freeland said, I hope so. It's unclear whether or not the fashion choice was meant to send a direct message to American negotiators, including U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer. I think he used to say Lighthizer, ahead of the all-important Wednesday meeting just 11 days before the American deadline to provide Congress with updated text of the deal. And it still hasn't been ratified, right? All of this stuff was breathless and big deal if we didn't get a NAFTA. And Donald Trump was really upset. Donald Trump lambasted Freeland. I got this out of order. But Donald Trump lambasted Freeland. Here's September 26th, just a few days after wearing the t-shirt. The t-shirt didn't work. Donald Trump, CTV News is reporting, dumps on Canada, knocks Freeland, threatens tariffs. Get that t-shirt out of here, Chrystia. And what if Donald Trump has a point with Chrystia Freeland, asks Maclean's. It's possible that by going to Washington to needle Trump, Freeland's tactics might not have helped Canada's cause. Maybe not. But you know what? Have a promotion. There's our Deputy PM, everybody. Former reporter and, Foreign Affairs Minister. And USMCA negotiator, if that's something that you want to hang your hat on. Mama don't wear it, or Mama is not equal to chopped liver, I guess. Navdeep Bains retained his position as minister, or I don't know if it's retained, but he's the Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry. And it's a restructured ministry. It's the same one, but now it includes industry. Okay, moving on. Our next one is Bill Blair. Bill Blair was the handgun or the assault weapons ban. He wasn't on board with the handgun ban, but he was formerly the Minister of Border Security. Hold on. Yes, Minister of Border Security and Organized Crime Reduction. Good job, Mr. Blair. You deserve a promotion, right? Look at Toronto, one of those safe cities with less gun crime and definitely not gang crime. And the guns definitely aren't coming over the border. Ooh. Ouch, right? You got to wonder about this. Like, this is a really strange choice. Great job, Bill. Good job not managing our border at all. And that organized crime thing, wonderful. They seem to be buying up guns like crazy, right? Have a promotion. Weird. I'm personally offended by that one. Francois-Philippe Champagne, Minister of Foreign Affairs, so he's taking over for Chrystia Freeland, and he was a part of the international trade portfolio. It says he held the international trade portfolio during the NAFTA renegotiations. But I mean, the NAFTA renegotiations had issues, least of all the lead negotiator, Ms. Freeland. Mona Fortier, new member of cabinet, she's the Minister of Middle Class Prosperity and Associate Minister of Finance, so she's connected to Bill Morneau's office, and it's still Bill Morneau. Mark Garneau, Minister of Transport, so he's staying in cabinet. Karina Gould, formerly she was the Minister of Democratic Institutions. She was the one who oversaw all of the insanity regarding the creation of the debate commissioner and all of, the fallout from that, the necessity for a few right-wing news outlets needing to go to court because they weren't receiving accreditation from the Liberal government to cover a public debate. No, you can't come and cover this. No, you're not a reporter. Nope. Oh, except that they are. And the court struck that down. But I mean, she was in charge of that. So another just like absolute head scratcher for me. Like, oh, you did a wonderful job and if you're looking at it from Justin Trudeau's point of view, I suppose that she did do a wonderful job. The debate was a disaster. It was an absolute washing machine of a debate meant to fence in anybody they wanted to, really. It was like watching a washing machine. It wasn't a tool to help people pick who the best leader of the country would be. It was just an unorganized, disorganized mess. 5 moderators? Come on. Anyway, it was ridiculous. So, I mean, give her a promotion, right? Why not? Yay, it's Canada. Who cares about ability? We need 50% women and 50% men. Notice, no trans people. No trans people in the cabinet. So, right? Gender parity? Anyway, back to the article. Ahmed Hussen retains a position, Minister of Families, Children's, and Social Development. Yeah, here he is. Yep, that's him. Liberal Immigration Minister, formerly he was the Immigration Minister, suggests the Conservatives dance with white supremacists. Let's put him in charge of children and families. And I mean, this is a 4-minute thing. I'm not going to play this right now, but it was concerning when it happened, and concerning that, well, again, he stays in the front benches. He stays in cabinet, and is in charge of families, children, and social development. Wild, right? Absolutely wild. Dave Lametti, if Scott Bryson hadn't resigned, David Lametti it might be Jody Wilson-Raybould, who's still the Attorney General, right? It's Scott Bryson who resigned that made that whole thing happen, right? Dave Lametti took over then, and that was a meme. Anyway, if you haven't been watching for a while, you're probably like, who's Scott Bryson? Moving down, Catherine McKenna maintains a cabinet position, but she is no longer the Minister of Environment and or Climate Change. She's now the Minister of Infrastructure and Communities. So, she'll ride her bike and have photo opportunities doing that. Just the same thing, because she didn't do anything for the environment in her tenure. Not one thing that I can count on my hand at all that actually meaningfully did anything for the environment. Not one. In fact, the amount of flights and transportation that she took, et cetera, she was probably much more hard on the environment than previous ministers of the environment. And just because of her travel, her multiple and lots of flights, right? Mendocino, and Mr. Mendocino was an excellent spokesperson for the Liberal Party. I think that he was a pro. He was either a lawyer or somebody who talks to people for a living. Just because watching him talk on television, and I tried to find an example of it, but I didn't have time to go looking. But watching him talk and push his liberal talking points is incredible. It doesn't matter what the news people say to him. He knows his talking points and he repeats them. Catherine McKenna. And it doesn't, that's their plan. That's the play. That's what they do. That's what the Liberals do. Anyway, so he's going to be, I think, a carbon copy of Miss McKenna, but we'll see. Maybe he'll do something to stop the raw sewage being discharged into the St. Lawrence and into the oceans. Maybe he will, but I'm not holding my breath. They haven't done anything so far. So why would they change what they've not been doing? Here's Bill Morneau. Here's his wife is heir to the McCain Foods. She's the heiress to the McCain Foods fortune. And Bill Morneau is a Will Ferrell lookalike and Panama Papers inductee and also the Minister of Finance in Canada, right? I think it's the crow's feet. I tried to get a bit more smile there. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. He's got to grow his hair a bit longer. Okay. Bill Morneau. Oh, goodness me. Scrolling down, we've got Seamus O'Regan. Seamus O'Regan is the Minister of Natural Resources. He was formerly the Minister of Veterans Affairs and was shuffled out of that position because he did an awful job. And I don't know if it's an awful job that he did or if it's an awful job because the Trudeau government just completely betrayed the armed forces by promising to reinstate the pension for life and then just creating a new program called Pension for Life. Gotcha. Anyway, terrible, but that's what happened. So then he got shuffled out of that position and into Indigenous Services, where he was widely panned as ineffective and not very good at his job. So now he's the Minister of Natural Resources. Yay. I've already heard grumblings from Mr. Kenney and some other people. Not personally, I've read articles that Mr. Kenney is not happy with the choice of Mr. O'Regan and says, like, really, you didn't win any seats in Saskatchewan or Manitoba or Alberta, excuse me. And this is the response? Really? That's what you're going to do? So interesting stuff, really. Harjit Sajjan, stolen valor. Harjit Sajjan maintains the Ministry of National Defense. He gets to keep that after in 2017. Well, here's the CBC News article. It says stolen valor. Sajjan faces calls to resign in wake of Afghanistan battle claim. Yeah. So I mean, like, this is a who's who of missteps and scandals all through the first 4 years. You know what, guys? Keep doing what you're doing. We love it. We love it. And Deb Schultz is the new Minister of Seniors. And this is an expanded cabinet, 36 ministers large. And here's Jonathan Wilkinson, Minister of Environment and Climate Change. So he was a Minister of Fisheries, Oceans, and Canadian Coast Guard in the last Parliament. So he's got experience with waterways. So maybe he'll do something about the discharge. Who knows? We'll see. But it's very interesting to watch what is going on with this cabinet. I mean, it's more of the same, and the scandals don't matter. It's almost like watching an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway, right? The winner is declared, and everybody gets to play the game at the end. And I thought this was kind of an interesting choice as well. Jim Carr will serve as the Prime Minister's special representative for the prairies. This ties back into my Alberta-Saskatchewan thing. James Carr served as the Minister for Natural Resources and International Trade Diversification in the last Parliament. He is currently battling cancer, but will remain a senior advisor to the Prime Minister. Okay. Again, like, how important are the prairies, right? Like, if the guy's battling cancer, that's a pretty big thing. You've got to be focused. And I don't know. I don't have, I'm not battling cancer or anything to that effect, but I would imagine that takes up a lot of your thoughts and your time, right? So this whole Parliament, this whole cabinet is, well, interesting. We'll see how long it lasts. I don't know. Who knows what the next 4 years will bring? Who knows how long this Parliament will last? But it's carrying forward a lot of the same people in similar positions that the last one had. So am I expecting much different? Well, nope. Not really. So stay tuned. I'll keep talking about it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out CanadaPoly.com. Check out the People's Party of Canada.ca and have a wonderful, wonderful